Hi there, Sagittarius. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for December. The month begins with the Sun in your sign, which is great news. And he also forges an amazing link with Uranus, which is primed by the new moon in your sign on the 3rd. Okay, we're heading into the Christmas season, and it may be late in the year, but it wouldn't surprise me if you did give yourself some kind of visual makeover when it comes to your personal presentation. A new haircut, new clothes, and this can help you to have added confidence for all the party situations that you're going to encounter. But I think the most important moment of this whole month for you occurs on the 5th, because on that day, Mercury finally enters your sign. It's been tantalizingly close at times, but then went into retrograde. It's also been affected by Saturn, and I do feel the previous 10 weeks may have seen you at times really quite anxious or felt detached from people or not really part of what was going on in a way which is really uncharacteristic of your sign. Or perhaps you've been pushing some painful events to one side, not wanting to look at them. As Mercury enters your sign, you can re-engage with people again. You can rediscover yourself. Your sense of humour bursts into life. Any plan that's been frustratingly stalled or opposed in so many different ways can just start to power forwards, and all of this can be a huge relief. You can start to feel that you're in control of your destiny again after a very tricky and frustrating period. Equally, Mars joins Libra on the 8th. This is great news for you. Libra and Sagittarius are well aspected, a sextile. But Mars is going to be here for the next 8 months. Now, Mars is about the individual, but in the 11th solar house in Libra, it is also about the collective, and it softens Mars's desire to have instant recognition and for it all to be about ourselves. So here, Mars can help you to cooperate more with people, and because you can be a very friendly, non-discriminating and non-judgmental person in some ways, this could see you expand your social circle, not just over the Christmas holidays, but well into next year. But you do need to stay vigilant because Saturn does remain in the very private, most private and psychological part of your scope. And if there are still some things scuttling around in the dark, around the way that you communicate with people, or you're lacking consciousness about some of your attitudes, these can still come to the fore, not just in December, but for another year to come. However, this is a month that also sees a very, very turbulent link between Mars and also Uranus. This doesn't really kick in until the 18th. There's a full moon which occurs on the 17th. This reminds you to stay within budget when it comes to your desire side of your nature, but also it asks you to balance the needs of other people, because this is a full moon which occurs in your opposite sign of Gemini. And if you are breezing through situations, enjoying all the sociability, but not spending much time with a partner, this could really rot the relationship if you're not careful. So you need to tune into them, because friendships can often be very important to you. And of course, you generally dislike having your personal freedom limited by anyone at all. But it's all about compromises. You can't have it all on your own terms. So proceed with caution on the back of that full moon. But Uranus then goes forwards, and then Mars goes opposite Uranus, and then they both square up with Pluto. And that broadly goes on for the second part of this month. So what does it mean for you? Well, I think it basically means that your values, which Pluto has been pressing upon, and financial situation over the last 5 years, comes into sharp focus against the way in which you'd like to steer your future, which is coming from Mars, whereas Uranus is more about the side of you that tends to do things without thinking very much, is potentially even a little bit reckless at times. Of course, that can be a rather fun thing to be for all of us, to do something daring and spontaneous, even a bit naughty. It gives us a blast, a thrill. But if you're endangering your financial situation by a risk-taking strategy that just isn't certain to give you a return, there may be a decision to be made. So that's why I'm saying go very careful about the money that you're going to spend on Christmas presents. Resist any kind of charm or guilt trips that people put on you as much as you can. Now Venus starts to move backwards, reverse backwards on the 21st, but I do think Venus generally is going to be good for you financially this month, but it's all about not squandering it. But if you have been quite disciplined about your diet in the last quarter of 2013, I do feel that the last 2 weeks are going to be really hard for you, because the desire to get in there and indulge and enjoy every ounce of the traditional magic of this season is going to be hugely high, especially when the Sun and Mercury join up with Venus too and Pluto. So just be aware that if you overdo it and indulge, by the time you get to New Year's, you could be feeling quite wrecked, and also your girth could be growing, and whereas only recently your body was something of a temple, now it may be something of a garden shed. So some self-discipline will be needed. However, more seriously, what you are going to do as the minutes count down on this year is think very seriously about how you can improve your financial lot next year. And you really are going to have so much determination to do that. But I do think it is going to require you to connect to other people much more and not just do things on a more unilateral basis. You need to reach out and cooperate for sure. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Have a great Christmas and goodbye for now.